Hey guys, welcome to today's vlog on a JB Fashion Style. In today's video, we're going to be sewing a ball gown, a pleated ball gown with layered sleeve. So first, I'll be cutting the front part of the top. So because it's in a wrap form, the first measurement I'm actually taking now is the bust circumference, the bust line, which is from the shoulder, it's about 10 inches. So this line is actually the bust line. So above that, I'll also be taking the above bust measurement so as to get my armhole. So my bust circumference is actually 40 inches, which I'll be dividing in two to give me 20 inches. Then I'll add 2 inches seam allowance to it. So please take note of the indication I'm making on the line. So I'm actually using my armhole measurement and also my bust measurement. So now I'll be taking the armhole measurement. So I'm actually trying to draw the curve now. I haven't taken the measurement of the bust circumference. Now I'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance as you see me do. So next, I'll be taking my waist measurement. So my waist circumference is 32 inches. So if I divide that, it will give me 16 inches. Then I'm adding 2 inch seam allowance to the 16 inches. So for the shoulder measurement, I'll be dividing my shoulder to shoulder into 4. So 16 divided by 4 will give me 4. So that's the measurement on the shoulder there. So I'll just draw a straight line down. So the next thing, I'll be going down a bit to get my slope on my shoulder. So I went in by 1 inch and then I continued my cutting. So for the back, the first thing we'll be taking will be our zip allowance. So my zip allowance is about 1.5 inches. And then after, our shoulder to shoulder measurement was divided by 2, which gave me 8. So our shoulder to shoulder measurement will be 8 inches. And so from the shoulder to the above bust, which is the measurement I'm taking now, was also 8 inches. So I'm actually trying to get the armhole measurement. So from shoulder to above bust is actually 8 inches. So I haven't done that. I would simply draw the curve for the armhole. So my actual above bust circumference is 38 inches, while my bust circumference is 40 inches. So dividing that by 4, I will also add 2 inch seam allowance to it. And then after that, you can see me trying to get the neck measurement. So my neck was 4 inches from the zip line, and then I went in by 2 inches. So I also tried to get the slope on the shoulder, so I also went in by 1 inches. And thereafter I went to take the waist measurement. So I divided my waist circumference, which was 32 inches. I divided it by 4, and then I added 2 inch seam allowance to it. And after that, we just cut. So now I'm done cutting the top portion of my gown. So for the pleating, I'll be requiring at least 3 yards of fabric, which is what you see me put together. But before then, we'll need to join our lining with our Ankara fabric. So now that being done, I'll just flip the fabric over to the right side before placing them on top of each other, wrong sides, right sides facing each other. And then for the bust circumference, I'll have to do my measurements again before sewing it on the machine. So after turning it over, first I went to sew the shoulders together, the shoulder of the back and the front together. And thereafter I took my measurements again. Please ensure you take your measurements again while sewing your fabric together. So you see me flipping it together now, flipping it over to the other side. So first I'll be joining the shoulders, then thereafter I'll be taking the measurements on the side, which consists of the bust circumference and the hip and the waist circumference, sorry. So you can see that I've taken my measurements again. So I've also gone to the machine to sew the material together. Now you see me flipping it over to the other side. You can see how neatly it's looking. So for this, my top was actually a bit short. So I had to attach an additional fabric to it, which was more like a waistband. So it's optional. If your measurement is accurate and you don't see the need for an additional band, it is also okay. So after sewing it on the machine, this is what it's looking like. Very neat. So now it's time for us to, put our pleats on our gown. So for this, I wanted my pleats to be quite small. The space in between will be very small, so it will be really full and fine. So it's optional. If you want your pleats to be wide, bigger, it's a choice. It depends on you. So whichever one suits you, it's okay. Now you can see our gown is looking very beautifully, even though we are not done with it yet. So that being done, we would now be cutting our layered sleeve. So please be very attentive and observe what I'm going to be doing while cutting my layered sleeve. So for this, because it's layered sleeve, it's actually 2 inches wider than each other. So I'm actually cutting fabrics in two pairs, and the one underneath is wider than the one on top. So for this particular layered sleeve, my layers were 4. So I would have to cut my fabric, reducing each by 2 inches. So the difference in length of my layers is 2 inches each. So please take note of that. So in case you do not know how to cut a normal sleeve, you could check my other videos where I had previously done detailed tutorial on how to cut a normal sleeve for a shirt. So having done that, I'll just go ahead and make my curve on my sleeve. So please take note of it. So my fabric are in 4 layers, and then on top of the layers, the smallest layer is where I'm actually making my cuff. So now I'm done cutting the hands. So just see what I'm doing. I'm separating them now. Like I said earlier, they are each of the layers are in two pairs. So now that I'm done with cutting, I'll go over to the sewing machine and fold the edges first and sew each separately. Fold the edges of each fabric and then sew them. Then thereafter I'll lap them on top of each other and then sew the cuff together first of all. So now you can see the edges are already sewn. So what I'm actually doing here now is trying to make gathers on the top with needle first before attaching my sleeve to my gown. But this is optional. You could do you could make your gathers using your sewing machine. If you have an industrial machine, it's fine. You could make your gathers. But I wanted it to be even and neatly done, so I had to do my gathers, my puff on the top of the sleeve first using my needle before attaching my sleeve. So you can see I'm done with one of the sleeve. I've made my simple puff on top of the sleeve and it actually came out looking really nice. So now I'll be attaching my sleeve to my gown. So if you're a beginner, it is advised that you use pins to hold them on your gown first before going over to the sewing machine to sew. So guys, I'm done attaching my sleeve to my gown and it actually came out nice, very beautiful. So the final thing on the video was me attaching my zipper to my gown. I tell you, it came out beautifully. So guys, please ensure you try out the making of this outfit and leave me a comment below in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.